Alright, so for today, we're going to try to get our door jamb switch replaced and get our clock spring out. So the door jamb switch is supposed to be pretty easy. I might be able to even show you guys that in real time here. There we go. So that's the old one loosened. Probably gonna need both hands to unplug it and then get the new one in, but yeah, that's pretty much the long and the short of it. Well, it went and broke the damn thing. That was how I was told to install it, but guess not. Gotta get another one. You know, it's kind of funny. I went to take this off and I didn't even unplug that. That just fell out. If I didn't also have a horn that didn't work, I think that might have just been my problem, but no, the horn doesn't work either, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace the clock spring like I intended to. But man, that's kind of nasty, as was everything else, so I shouldn't be surprised. Wrong way. Can you tell I don't know what I'm doing? Let me figure out what's going on. What a day we're having. I think I just tore the threads out of that. I don't know why this isn't coming off. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, like, the threads are super shallow, but it does go back, like, all the way. So, like, I had that bolt seated fully. For some reason, it still just pulled all the threads out. You can see the threads just chilling right here. Right where they should be. Man, love it when this happens. It's supposed to be a simple job. So anyway, more complications. Beating on it like a pissed off gorilla didn't seem to work. So I tried to get the tap and die set out and just upsize the bolt and just try to make that work. However, I can't actually do that because there's too many things in the way. It's not flat enough for this to actually be able to do its job. So yeah, I really am just left with beating the crap out of it as the only option, because these threads, where's the camera, there we go, these threads, they're just like non-existent at this point. They're pretty much just grooves, like they're just lines. It's like nothing there. Sucks, man. It's supposed to be like an hour job. I've been sitting here for like 2 hours now, just trying to get this thing off. Been here, I don't know, probably 4 hours now. Broke the first thing I tried doing. I put the old one back so I could get rid of the other one. You know, strip that out somehow. Can't get this off. Dude, what a day. I should probably just stop touching stuff today so I don't break everything. So, after being here for like 4 or 5 hours, for what's supposed to be a 1 hour job and not even be halfway through, I got a little bit pissed off. And I just cut through all the plastics. I figure, I mean, I already ordered a new steering wheel. I had to do that anyway because of that. There's no way I could fix it. So I, ordered a new steering wheel. It's like 60 bucks. And I said, screw it. I'm gonna get rid of these plastics so then I can get like a hammer back here and like really pry on it. And it's still not doing anything. Like I swear to God, I've watched so many videos now on how to remove these without the harmonic balancer puller or the steering wheel puller, and it's like, yeah, you just shake it back and forth. You just hit it really hard a couple times all over the place, and then it comes free. Nah, dude, I've been beating this thing to the point where I think my hands are bruised. I've been started hitting it with a hammer. I was pounding it with my knees. I've been grabbing it with my forearms around both sides of the steering wheel and pulling with it, like with all of my strength. The whole Jeep is moving and it's still here. Like once again, this is loose. Like this is not on there. Like it's just slightly threaded, so when this does eventually come off, because this will come off, when this does eventually come off, it doesn't smack me in the face. Oh my God, this is one of the most annoying things. All right, back again on a less rainy day, so I can record the whole process. But out of frustrated desperation, I'm just gonna put these ratchet straps on here and just really crank it down. Hopefully I don't break something. Hopefully I don't break the straps while they're under a lot of tension and have this go flying God knows where. But you know, it'll be entertaining, or it'll give you guys a good idea of another solution to this problem, I guess. That seems very niche. But yeah, no, I know this is stupid. I know this isn't the way you're supposed to do it. Like, we're just kind of past that point because, you know, as you've just been seeing, boop, no more threads. Threads, no threads. And I've actually legitimately kind of hurt my neck trying to get this thing out. So I'm kind of done just brute forcing it with all my strength. Alright, so I just did it off camera because no particular reason, but I went and took the bolt that was holding that steering wheel, like, kind of on in case it flies off. If you can even hear me right now. Just because it's going to be easier to get the fire inside the splines and try to loosen it that way, but it's also going to mean this thing's going to shoot off as soon as it gets loose. So, pros and cons, but I think this is going to be the best way to get free. This is not going to be the best way to stay safe. So, yeah, if you're in this situation, don't do this yourself. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, so this is what we're working with. It's loose, but the thing that's loose is actually the, I don't think you can really see it on video. Kinda can. So it's like the little metal ring that's around our bolt here. The bolt is what attaches to the Jeep. The little metal ring is what has the splines that is affixed that we can't remove. And then the big metal piece is just the steering wheel part that's supposed to be attached to that. But it's like the steering wheel is actually separated from the spot that has the splines on it, just because we've been trying so hard to get this off that the steering wheel has actually removed itself from that little metal piece that's supposed to be a part of it. And that metal piece is still stuck tightly in place. So yeah, we definitely have an issue, which is why our thread's ripped out, I guess. This seems to be very unusual, like all the other videos I've seen, all the forums I've read. Yeah, this is not how this is supposed to go. So what I've got here is an induction heater. Alright, so I'm done trying to get this off. Literally, I don't know what else I could do. Like, I don't know what the problem with it is. And I'm just kind of sick and tired of trying to deal with this. This is like I said, this was an hour job. This is day 4. I'm just going to replace the whole steering column. Like, I found one of those on eBay. I mean, there's 2 of them. One's like $100, one's $200. The one that's cheaper doesn't have any of the fixings on it, like none of the plastics, none of the turn signals and stuff. The one that's $200 has all those, look like they're in great shape. Which I'll probably go for that one, just because I don't know if I've damaged anything else, just in the process of me trying to get this off. But yeah, I'm kind of over it, especially considering that heat gun was like $200, so it's like I could have just not had to deal with it just by getting the new steering column. And they're really easy to replace, so all the time I spent trying to do this, I probably could have done the steering column replacement in like half the amount of time. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm just gonna start working on other things with it until that arrives. But yeah, no, this was annoying. also want to take another moment to complain about this. Like, bruh, just why? I was gonna try to fix it by just like cutting, because it's supposed to be like a yellow, oh my god, what's wrong with my zoom right now? It's supposed to be a yellow wire that goes from that harness up there, and I was just gonna cut it at the ends of those first connections, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough space to actually splice into that to put another wire in and only have there be 2 soldered connections instead of 4 of them. It's just, it irks me, man. Like, why do this? Like, who did this? Probably the same person who made these haphazard cuts for the radio wiring, then also sliced them all in the middle down here. Why? Why? Whoever did that, they should never touch electronics in a vehicle, probably anywhere ever again. Like, none of the wiring portions. Like, just what is this? Alright, old one out, new one sitting next to it. Pretty much the same thing. Very minor differences. The old one's got a white bracket, and the new one's got a black bracket. Spring down here is a little different on the old one versus the new one. But I don't think anything like that's going to be an issue. Just like the labeling for the 4-ways, a little different. Once again, not an issue. Just interesting to observe. The new one, ironically enough, on the plastic, it looks good, but there's like more wear on some of the lettering than there is on the old one. So that was interesting, but you know, is what it is. The really annoying thing though is that I busted a nut, like, you know, quite literally, busted a nut off of the stud, or I guess technically I busted the stud. The nut's still intact, but the stud for this is back here, and when I was trying to take this off, it just got stuck. Like, it just would not come.
Do not come.
This one was fine. You know, the other ones were fine. Like, wherever they are up there, I guess. Yeah, those ones were fine. It was just this one. It would not come off. So I used that heat thing, that little gun that you've seen me use probably earlier in this video, and I was able to get this thing red hot. And I put probably my mistake, I put the impact on it. And then as I was going, I just saw a spark, and I guess that was this little rod right here snapping in half. So yeah, that's annoying. Admittedly, not really the end of the world. Like, I can just put one of these back over here, because like there's still enough of the bolt that comes out where I can actually thread something on there. I can't do it one-handed, but the only thing I can think is that when I put this back on, because I actually did take these off and put these on when I did the heater core stuff, I think I cross-threaded the hell out of this thing. Like, I didn't realize it at the time, but I think I do have to blame myself for this one. I can't imagine any other reason why just this one would have such a hard time after I took all of them off and put them all back on, because it wasn't as hard to take off when I hadn't touched it. So I'm going to fully blame myself for this. It's annoying. I guess also a lesson to learn is if I'm going to use that heat thing, maybe I shouldn't use an impact. I should just use this thing. I did think about that, but I was like, no, it's fine. I'll just use this. It'll get it off a lot faster. But I mean, yeah, it got it off faster, but it also took off a little more than it was supposed to. So I'm a little pissed off about that, not gonna lie. It's gonna set me back a little bit. I was trying to hopefully get this put back all together tonight, which I mean, I guess I can get it put back mostly tonight. It's just gonna be that one last nut that I have to get back on there, which I don't know. I have to just figure out how to get one of these nuts again, I guess. Man, it's like not really that big of a deal, but it's like so many things like this keep happening. Like the fact that I'm even having to do this for a clock spring, like that's why we're here, right? Like we're here because of the clock spring. Like this thing is just seized. Like I still don't really get what happened here. Like I was looking at this and it's like, it's almost like it's just, the metal is just molded to it. It's like it's been welded on there or something. I really don't get it. It's like there's not really, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't get that. But you know, it is what it is. One adventure leads to another, I suppose, when you're doing work on cars. So, Trying to get the new steering column in very typical fashion, I've got one of the bolts at the bottom in, but the second one just don't really want to line up. It's like I was able to get the splines to attach for the steering column, which took a little bit of time, but now this little bolt that's over here, the one that's kind of broken, it's just it's about like a 1/4 inch maybe, just too far away, and trying to coerce it, but alright, so I couldn't get that out with a hammer, couldn't really swing it in there, not enough space. I tried putting a chisel on it and hitting that, and I missed once and almost hit my headlight switch, so I figured that's probably a bad idea. So I ended up getting this magical device to try to help me get this out. I was looking at it from the back. I can't really bring a camera back there, unfortunately, but I don't think it's welded. I'm assuming it's just like the lug studs on wheels that hold your lug nuts on, but I don't have any evidence to suggest that other than just speculation and looking at the back and not seeing any obvious welds. So I'm going to try to just pretty much hammer this out with the use of a battery-powered tool. And I've got my fingers crossed, but at the rate that we're going, we're going to end up needing to replace the entire wiring harness to get this clock spring replaced. Because what is this? What's going on here, man? This is for the clock spring, bro. Like, what just happened? So I mean, just I don't even know what this is called. Like, I had to buy it to try to do this, but I don't know what this is. Like, I just want to stop and just think that this is still a clock spring video. What happened? Like, what is this, dude? This is the kind of car work that makes you never want to touch a car again. Like, it's just, bro, like, I hope this works. If this doesn't work, I legitimately don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm nervous that it won't. But I mean, will it fit in there actually? Let's see. Yeah, no, it fits. I mean, at least that's one problem that we don't have right now, trying to get this out. Yeah, that's where I am right now. I mean, we made the head shinier. That's good, right? Yeah, it's still in there, like we didn't even try getting it out. Bro. Okay. Alright, so just so you guys can have some kind of an idea what I'm working with, it's that. I guess I was able to get a camera back here after all. Look at me complaining before I try. So this is hilarious. I went to take off those bolts using the impact again, and look at there. We got the same problem. The bolt took off a piece of the nut with it. Or the nut took off a piece of the bolt with it. That's... Dude, why is this happening, man? Like, I know these ones are, like, not on right. Like, these are just hammered on there because the threads are messed up, but... Bruh. I mean, I guess if I just keep doing that, it'll get rid of itself, right? So, plan of action now is going to be to just try to heat it up and get it out of there. Going to try to get it to, like, red hot and then just pound it out with that other tool. I was telling one of my buddies I only seem to pull this thing out when I'm like nips deep in doo-doo, but this feels like one of those times, so cross your fingers for me. So yeah, definitely think I'm barking up the wrong tree with that method. It smells like there's something on fire now. So I guess really the only other option is to cut it off as close as I can to the base. Guess I gotta use a Dremel. I know the real way to get in there. And then maybe just drilling it out. I mean, it's gonna be what I try. We'll see. So the oscillating multi-tool did the trick, and then I just put a little punch through it so I can get it nice and drilled out to hopefully get another stud back there. Between this and this, we're getting there. Alright, so good news, bad news, good news. So good news is we have a hole there now, so we're able to drill through it completely. Bad news is this bolt, which is what I want to put there. It's pretty much what these are. It's still a little bit too big to be able to go through. But the other, good news, which I kind of expected that as I was going. But the other good news is that there's this bad boy. Shouldn't have any problems. So I'm just gonna re-drill it with this, which I don't think it'll be too terrible now that it's already drilled out. Well, I'll see. Maybe I'll eat those words, but I'll see. I really do just want to have a fourth stud down there, just so I can still have the, bottom point holding it on that side as well. Be a lot less sketchy that way. So I almost have the hole drilled for the bolts to hold the steering column on. I need to go to Home Depot tomorrow, just grab another 3/8 inch drill bit, just because the ones that I have now I'm pretty sure are just kind of dull after having drilled for a little while. So what I'm going to do tonight, just to make sure everything's ready for tomorrow, is I'm just going to actually go ahead and remove my clock spring and the new steering column, and just have it all pretty much ready to go. I mean, at least as much as I can. I can't cut the plastics on until I put it on tomorrow, just because I'll have to plug everything in, but as good to go as possible. If you see movement later on, it's because we've got Buzz just sleeping right there. So that's what's going on. Just doing this in my bedroom at like midnight essentially. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the wires being a little different. In the YouTube video I watched though, the gentleman who did this, his original one only had 2 wires like this one does too, so I'm just gonna put the new one in and cross my fingers. So I think this is about as far as I can really get it tonight. You trying to say hi, buddy? But it's got the new clock spring in. Like I said, I'm not going to put the plastics on because I'm going to have to plug everything into the back here. That's just chilling in the Jeep. I'm not super worried, but I am just kind of thinking that these 2 ignition switches, they're like a little different. Like, they're not super different. This is kind of just mainly an exterior difference on the one that's supposed to go on my Jeep, the one that's keyed to the doors. Which I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. And there's just very slight differences and stuff on the inside, which it's so minor that I don't think it's going to be a huge problem, but you never know. Fingers crossed that doesn't become an obstacle, because if I have a different key for my ignition versus my doors, I'm going to kind of lose it. Not the worst thing to ever happen to someone, but it's going to be annoying. I spent $20 at Home Depot today for a single drill bit, so if this doesn't work, I'll be a little bit upset. Granted, I'm like right at the finish line. Not bad. I guess that's what happens when you have the right tools. Jesus. So just to get it cleaned up and make sure there's not going to be any rust coming from where I gouged the metal earlier trying to get that thing off, I'm going to hit it with some primer. Not sure whether I'm using sandable primer or primer sealer. I have to look into that a little bit more. But I'm going to hit it with some alcohol and some paper towels and just try to get that cleaned off to get all the oils out of there. And just paint it. Probably put two coats on it over the course of like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, and then let it sit for an hour to dry, and then put everything back together. So on a standard turn of events, when I went to drop that and pull my hand out from underneath there after spraying this, I, of course, accidentally wiped my finger along the underside of what I painted and got some paint there. So I'm gonna just go over that spot real quick with the paint again. Just gonna give it like a real quick dusting, and hopefully it doesn't make everything look a little bit weird, but you know, I feel like this is just kind of how it goes. I don't know. It's looking a little uneven now, but you know, it's still wet. We'll see what it looks like when it dries. So I mean, after 30 minutes, it actually looks fine in person too. Even I'll take it. And then this is, you know, it'll work. It doesn't have to be pretty. You're never gonna see it. But now we can come into the back.
I'm gonna come
and fit one of our own bolts through there. Look at that, beautiful. So we can theoretically, you know, just put another nut on the other side and then get that tightened down, so we still have all 4 points holding it down, so it's not going to be super sketchy. Love it. That was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Get that back on. It's like the holes just didn't really want to line up. Anyway, my concern now is I don't know if the steering wheel is going to be in the right position for the wheels, because this is new steering column. When I had the wheels initially straight, then I turned a little bit to get that bolt out. So I'm going to try to just do a dry mount real quick just to see where the steering wheel ends up sitting, because something tells me it's not going to be what I want it to be. That and these bolts, which, you know, were on there, kind of caused half of this problem. They're super stuck, and so I'm thinking about just using using these ones. You know, ignore this one because this is one that has a piece of the stud broken off in it, but using these ones because they're a lot easier to go on. They don't feel like they get stuck halfway through versus the original hardware. I'm still trying to debate if that's a good idea or not. They fit the bolts just fine. It's just they go on way easier, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Yes, I'm glad I tested that, because right now this is considered straight, which, you know, it's not that far off, but like, you know, I think that's straight. Hope that's straight. Second thought, it actually might be fine. Like, the wheels look pretty straight there, and then our steering wheel, it's also pretty much straight. It's like this isn't tightened down yet, so I think that might be part of my problem. It's like the wheels aren't moving when I do this, by the way. It's just like dead slop. This is like slop right now. But like I said, there's no bolt holding steering wheel kind of in place, so I think it's actually fine. Like, it's probably hard to see on the camera, but this looks straight to me. I've learned my lesson. No more power tools on this. So I am discovering that these two ignition cylinders are not, in fact, interchangeable. Fun. So I've been trying to get the one that has the keys for the door into the new steering column, and it just won't fit. So I tried putting the old one back in. That fits fine. Tried taking the one that I want to use and put it back in the one it came from. That fits fine. Tried taking the cylinder from the new one and putting it into the old one. That didn't work either. So yeah, they're just straight up not compatible. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to order one of these that's keyed for my keys. I mean, I could just throw this one in there, but this one's actually weird. Like when I put this one in, you can actually take the keys out when it's in ignition. So I don't think this one's good. But yeah, I mean, typical. All right, so another annoying problem. So take a look. Keys out right now, right? You know, nothing's in there at all. But all right, that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. And you know, turn headlights and stuff on too. So I thought this might be a problem because if we take a look at our ignition switch, which I wasn't able to get the one that I wanted to put back in there, the one that has the same key on there, just because it's it just won't fit. Like the cylinders are just slightly different to the point where it just won't work. But like this is like as far back as I can turn. I can't turn the ignition off, but like I can still take the key out. This, I'm pretty sure, is just to start it. You know, I don't have my foot on the clutch, which there's no coolant in the engine right now anyway. I don't want to start it. But I'm pretty sure, you know, like that shouldn't happen. Like that's as far as it could go. Can't turn it back. You can still pull it out. So I think this ignition switch is busted because it thinks that it's in drive right now, essentially. Like it thinks that it's on, and there's no key in there, so it's going to be getting power the whole time. So that's annoying because I do need to drive it in order for it to have those codes pass or those tests pass, and then be able to do the smog check and then have my registration paperwork submitted. So I would try to just go and get a VIN matched ignition switch, but you need proof of ownership to do that, and I don't really have proof of ownership because I just have the paperwork to submit to the DMV. It's just temporary registration stuff, which is now expired because I can't get the smog, because it can't pass its test, because it can't be driven, because it's being worked on. So this is frustrating, but you know, is what it is, I guess. This whole clock spring thing has been, you know, kind of one big circus ride of just, you know, oodles of fun, right? Just been great. I think I'm gonna call the clock spring replacement here because I don't really know what I'm gonna do for it. I mean, I could just buy another ignition set that's already has its own key and put it in there. That's gonna be like an extra $100 that I shouldn't have to. I just don't want to spend. It wouldn't be necessary if I wasn't in this very odd, very specific situation. So yeah, that's annoying, but what can you do about it, right? And it's like, why won't you just fit? Why won't you fit? Oh my god. All right, so yeah, that's how we're ending this video. Pray for me, I guess. You know, another fun fact I just realized is if I did manage to get this thing started, I wouldn't have a way to turn it off because the key can't go into the off position. I'd have to just intentionally stall it in order to shut the thing off. That's fun. This is pretty gay though. Locked out. Locked out. Oh, dude. Yeah, that's pretty bad.